In this video tutorial, I'm going to go over making your own painting palette. The supplies you're going to need: a ruler, a piece of plexiglass, you'll also need a utility knife, nice and sharp. I like to use these from the hardware store. They've got these blades you can switch around if needed, and the blades are really cheap to replace. They work a lot better than an X-Acto knife. The X-Acto knife blades tend to break when trying to cut plexiglass. But you also need an X-Acto knife and a pencil. First off, you'll need to determine what size you want to make your palette. I'm going to make a fairly small one today because I need a nice portable one I can use for painting. Any size will work though. I've also got a very large one that I've constructed here, and what's great about these large ones is that you can lay out a lot of different colors. So if you're going to be working with a lot of different colors, mixing paint, then you might want to make a larger one like this. But for now, I'm going to be painting with one color, and I need a nice small one I can hold right in one hand like this. So I'm going to make a 5 3/8 by 5 3/8 inch palette. So you'll make the measurements, making marks at 5 3/8 on both edges. Turns out this piece is already 5 3/8 this way. Make your mark, and then with your utility knife, you're going to score the plexiglass. Be very careful. Use the straight edge. Don't cut your fingers off. I try to apply as much pressure as possible, and I'm going to score it 3 or 4 times. And then what you're going to do, the same thing to the other side in the exact measurement, 5 3/8. And I'll make a score, 3 or 4 passes on this side with my utility knife. I'm going to turn this over and make sure it's lining up well. Looks like it is. Continue making my scores. You don't have to get all the way through. This is the good thing about the plexiglass. When you get to this point where you've got a nice score on each side, as long as it's in the right spot, you can break it at this point. I'm going to go ahead and peel off this adhesive protective covering here off the plexiglass. You can leave your palette clear like this, or what I like to do is put a white background underneath of it. This way, when I'm mixing paints on the palette, I can get a more accurate depiction of what the color will turn out when I brush it onto the canvas. So you'll cut out a piece of white paper, the size you need for your palette, and then tape the edges all the way around. I'm using some masking tape. I go ahead and wrap around the tape around the other side as well to cover up the sharp edge on the other side. And you can just trim off the excess tape here. And that's all there is to it. Once you get the edges taped up, you're ready to go. You've got your own homemade palette.